Hey cats, what's happening? My sunflowers didn't do that well this year because the rabbits ate over half of them. But I do have a few for the pollinators, so they're enjoying that. I also, if you you could see, I got a lot of tomatoes coming on right now. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of them that need picked, and I just can't even hardly give them away. I got these cherry tomatoes too. These are delicious. I'm hoping to get the neighbors to come over and pick. And some of my jalapenos are turning red. These peppers are turning red. One of them here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Nice big orange one. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? These down here. Ugh. There we go. Hillbilly tomatoes. I wounded that one. Those are low acid, really sweet, super delicious. I don't know if you guys have seen my flower garden lately. It's pretty much in full bloom. Looking really nice. My gladiolas have already blossomed. They don't last very long. I mean, they bloom and then like a couple days, this pretty pink one is just getting ready to bloom. But they only last a couple days and then they're gone. So my purple coneflower really did well this year. That's the one I was going to tell you about earlier. That is like a butterfly bush, or I don't know what it was called. But and then my black-eyed Susans are just really thick, and they're just beautiful. They really fill in this area of the garden. And the hibiscus flowers, the huge hibiscus flowers, and they're pretty too. They last quite a while. All in all, I'm pretty happy with my flower garden and my vegetable garden. They all did very well. I'm giving my bike a break today. I really put it through the mill the last couple days and put quite a few miles on it. And it was happy. I mean, it did me right. But I'm giving her a break today, just letting her rest here in the garage. It's a nice day. It would be a nice day for riding, but it's a little gray, kind of overcast, and still warm here in Northeast Ohio. But yeah, today I had to use the truck because I had to do my major groceries, and I had way more than I could ever carry on the bike. So, yeah, I knocked that out this morning, and I dread that job. I dread going to the grocery store, not only buying everything, but bringing it home, carrying it in the house, putting it all away. Seems like a major job every time. Uh, and then I still go in there and I open the refrigerator and I'm like, well, what's there to eat? you know, After spending $100 on groceries, I still wonder what did I buy? You know, what's edible? Anyway, close the garage up, done in there. You know, every once in a while I get people that question me on YouTube. I guess that comes with the territory of being a YouTube creator. You know, when you put yourself out there like I do, twice a week, depending on what the topic is or the category or, you know, what my viewpoints are, there's always somebody who has to you know, be in opposition, or they don't believe what I'm saying, or something of that nature. And I get people too that question whether I actually ride my motorcycle, because, you know, I don't put every video of me on the bike. Now, this past couple days, you know, that I rode, I didn't bring the camera with me. I enjoyed riding all day. I rode with some friends. I did some solo riding. I met up with some people, and you know, it's a hassle for me to bring a camera along in those situations. Um, Not only that, but people don't appreciate having a camera shoved in their face either. So, uh, I respect that, and I leave the camera at home. Yeah, on almost all of my Sasquatch videos, I've had people question and say, "Oh, you're just making up stories. You're telling tall tales." I'm telling the truth. I'm telling it exactly what happened to me. I'm not stretching the truth. And then I get people that say, "You really don't ride that motorcycle. It stays in your garage all the time. You're not a biker, And I don't need to prove to them that I ride. I ride and I enjoy riding, and that's my deal. And it's really none of their business whether I prove it to them or not. I don't have to prove it. And then the other point is that some people feel like that this should be a biker channel. And I never said this was a biker channel. I never said it was all about motorcycles. Yes, I ride. Yes, I enjoy riding. Yes, I do put motorcycle related material out there occasionally. But it's more of a blog about every day here, things that I do. Uh, it's not a solid biker video. If you want that, there's plenty of videos out there where they're just all about motorcycle, motorcycle, motorcycle every single episode. You're not going to get that with me, okay? I just put that out there right now. But I do put the miles on my bike. I had the pleasure of riding with a guy a couple weeks back from the Youngstown, Ohio area. So he's a good, maybe an hour and a half, almost 2 hour drive to get here. And he rode all the way out here to ride with me. And we kind of spent the day together. It was a good ride. And I got a message from him. And I wanted to share it with you guys. Because I was pretty humbled. So, here's what he said. Just watched your last video. I've seen your riding skills firsthand, and I know a good rider when I see one. You ride with full command of your bike. Keep it up, my friend, Bob. That's from Cobra Bob. And Bob, I really, really appreciate that. I do feel very comfortable on my bike. I ride it enough that it comes secondhand to me. And I appreciate it when other people recognize that, I'm not just some yahoo out there, not just a weekend warrior, that I really do know how to ride. And I do ride very defensively, very cautiously, but I consider myself a pretty good rider as well. No, all I need here is a glass of lemonade, sit on the front porch sipping on a glass of lemonade. But anyways, as far as riding goes, yeah, I don't feel like I'm a good leader when it comes to riding. I don't like being point or being the, like, I guess road captain is the technical term for it, but I just consider running point, being out in front. I don't have the GPS. I don't have the fancy contraptions that some of the newer bikes have with the on-screen digital readout. So it's easy for me to make a wrong turn, or I don't usually get lost, but sometimes I'll turn down the wrong road that I maybe missed the street I was supposed to turn on, or I turned too soon, something of that nature. So in that regard, I don't always like being the leader. In fact, I don't really like riding with groups. I'd much prefer to go solo. Now, when I say riding with groups, I don't mind riding with some of my close friends that know how to ride well. But riding with people that I'm unfamiliar with, that I would rather stay away from, because it kind of makes me nervous. I've been watching some of the videos that have been coming out here on the Sturgis Rally, the 2024 Sturgis Rally. There are probably going to be a lot more videos, but some of the videos are coming out already. And these guys are just kind of going around town filming a lot of the bikes and the people and the things that are going on around town. And I shake my head. I'm not going to Sturgis again, as far as I can tell. It's quite a bit different from back in the 70s when I went there. Um, it used to be where it was a gathering of bikers, guys that rode there, rode their choppers, their home builds, or their you know newer bikes. A lot of Harleys back then. There they didn't have those enormous campgrounds that they have today. They had smaller private campgrounds. It could get pretty wild there too. Uh, but it was nothing like it is today. When I watched the videos, I was watching the videos last night, and I mean, so commercialized. And it's more than just bikers now. It's there's families that come there, like tourists. It's like a tourist destination now. The Sturgis Rally, people come from all over just to watch the motorcycles. But then it's a different breed of motorcyclists. You'll see all kinds of bikes, trikes, contraptions that don't even resemble a motorcycle. Um, Three wheelers, Can-Ams. Now the sky's the limit of what people ride there. And some people even have the side by sides that they'll ride around in that aren't even close to a motorcycle. So it's kind of gotten away from even though it's still considered a biker rally, it's really gotten away from that. Um, then the other thing that I don't know, I'm sorry, it's just me, but some of these big wheel baggers with the great big wheel on the front end, um, just blow my mind. Like, you can't really ride that thing anywhere. All you can do is ride up and down the strip to show off with it, because it's not a touring bike. It's not a highway bike. Uh, they probably handle like crap. But these guys will ride down through town, putting down through there, like their big cheese on their big wheel bagger that looks like a child's, remember the big wheel trike that the little kid sat on that, he had to pedal, and had the big wheel in the front and the two small wheels in the back. My son had one, and he rode that thing up and down the sidewalk like a maniac. That's what they remind me of. And then the other thing that I always get a chuckle out of are the foot draggers. And I've talked about this before, but they'll go all the way up and down the strip, dragging their feet on the ground. You know, it's like, do you need training wheels or something that you got to keep your feet dragged on the ground the whole way down the street? I mean, that's what foot pegs are for. Put your feet up on the pegs and ride that motorcycle. You don't need to drag your feet down the road, but you watch the videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. Almost everybody are foot draggers nowadays, which I always get a chuckle out of. I mean, I shouldn't judge people, and I don't mean to. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and I'm sure they don't even think about it when they're doing it. They're just doing it out of habit. But I myself, keep my feet up on the boards, unless I'm coming to a stop, and then my feet go down. Speaking of which, I always have to remember when I pull up to a stop sign or a stoplight, uh, legally you're required to have both feet planted on the ground. And sometimes I'll almost forget where I keep one foot up on the board, and I'll just put my left foot out or something and wait for the light to turn or to stop at a stop sign. You're supposed to legally have both feet planted on the ground. You can get stopped and especially in Sturgis, you can get pulled over and stopped for not putting both feet on the ground when you come to a stop. Uh, so, yeah, you put your feet down, but when the light turns green or, you get the go ahead to go through the intersection, put your feet back up on the pegs, put your feet back up on the boards, and roll through. You don't need to drag your feet on the ground, wear the soles of your shoes down. Uh, yeah, kind of funny. Just something I like to point out every year because, and then here's the thing, man. I mean, it's always been Sturgis has always been kind of like relaxed when it comes to morals. You could see some. It's always been that way. You could see some wild stuff. I mean, in the '70s when I camped out there, people were shooting their guns in the campground, and there nobody seemed to care, or it was just that's just what happened. And well, you couldn't get away with that today. Uh, at least most of the campgrounds that I'm aware of, they would have you arrested right now if you were pulling your weapon out and shooting it. Whether you're shooting beer cans or just shooting it up in the air, no, that's kind of a no-no nowadays. But back then it was pretty wild. But you know, the thing today is that the women want to all dress scantily, and some of them very scantily, and some of them have no business being dressed scantily, if you know what I'm saying. I have to close my eyes or look the other way so I don't get, brain damage. Uh, it's like, honey, what made you think that you look good in that outfit? Because, again, I shouldn't judge. I mean, they're probably making a lot of money on tips because there's probably a lot of ding dongs out there that just find that wonderful and that are handing them dollar bills left and right. Yeah, and here's the other thing: you go all the way out to Sturgis, and this is the thing that puzzles me: that you would spend all day sitting in a bar, drinking beers or mixed drinks or whatever, and tipping the waitress because she's wearing a bikini behind the bar. There's so much to do out there, so much to see, so many great rides, and yet these people will spend all day sitting in a saloon drinking. I don't get that one. I guess if you're into the alcohol thing, then that's what you do. But boy, you're really missing out on life. Yeah, you're getting a buzz, and you get to sit there and look at that girl's cellulite or whatever, and if that's what you like, um, more power to you. But you're missing out on a lot of living. I mean, in the years that I went out there, many years I've been to Sturgis, I rode. Every day I'd get up early and I'd pick a destination. Either I'd go to Custer or go to Devil's Tower, go to down Spearfish Canyon, Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, all the different things you can do out there. And you get to meet a bunch of cool people while you're out there. There's great food when you get away from Sturgis itself, because in the city of Sturgis, good luck finding a decent meal. There's some food vendors there. If you like vendor type food, it's not like going sitting down at a 5-star restaurant. And even finding a restaurant out there where you can just order, say, like a plate of spaghetti or something. Good luck. Most everybody out there wants to serve beef, so you're going to get steak or burgers in most cases. I know when Val and I were out there the one time, she was so tired of eating steak and burgers, she said, I just want, and we happened to see a Pizza Hut. She goes, oh my gosh, there's a Pizza Hut. Like, go to Pizza Hut, go to Pizza Hut. And we went in there and we just wolfed on pizza. It was like, oh, pizza, so good. Because we were so tired of eating hamburgers and beef, steaks, and I mean, you can only do that so many days in a row. I don't know about you, but your palate wants something a little different sometimes. But again, no, I'm not going out there. I don't have any plans of ever going out there again. A couple people have tried to persuade me to go to Daytona. I've never been to Florida, and I have no reason to ever want to go there. It's hot, it's muggy. I don't particularly like that. The actual, I mean, what's there to do once you get down there, really? It's not like the Black Hills where there's all kinds of things to do, things to see, the Needles Highway, and you go to Florida, what you ride in the Everglades, and that's about it, or you ride the Strip. You go to the beach. I'm not a beach bum. I'm not a beach person. I don't like laying out there in the hot sun. The ocean's pretty cool. I can take some of that. A little bit of salt water doesn't hurt. But I always get sunburned beyond, yeah, like a fried potato chip. Uh, and then again, it's just not my deal. I'm a mountain guy. Take me to the mountains any day. The scenery, the temperatures are cool. You higher you up you go in altitude, you get that cool weather. Sometimes you even hit snow. Uh, some interesting weather patterns out that way, but the vistas are just breathtaking. That to me, that's God's country. Uh, it's like a religious experience for me to be in the mountains, and that's what I like. I like camping in the mountains. I like hiking in the mountains. I like sightseeing in the mountains, seeing the elk and the bear, the moose, the different things that you'll see out that way. I still haven't pulled the plug on taking a trip anywhere this year, though. Well, I am going to pull my travel trailer about 4 hours away to camp with my brothers, but I'm not doing any motorcycle camping. I haven't committed to anything at this point yet, although I've been thinking about it. But bee almost flew in my ear. Anyway, yeah, I have thought about it. I'm not real keen on sleeping in the ground anymore. I have a shoulder problem here on my left shoulder that goes all the way down to my elbow. Uh, Even sleeping in a good bed, I wake up in the morning, sometimes I can't hardly move my arm. And I know sleeping on the ground would only exacerbate the situation. I probably need to go to the doctor and get some cortisone or something going on there. I already had this shoulder replaced once, so this one's probably next in line. But yeah, sleeping on the ground, I'm a little hesitant about that, and I'm not one to go stay in hotels or motels either on my bike. Because I don't want to leave my bike sitting out in the parking lot unattended. When I'm camping, the bike's like right next to my tent. I can actually, tie a string around my big toe and hook it to the bike, and that way if somebody moves my bike, my big toe wiggles, and I know that, that's my theft alarm. Just kidding, but you know what I mean. The bike's right there. I feel comfortable with doing it that way, so I haven't pulled the trigger on that. Well, cats, thanks for joining me today and listen to my big long spiel. Um, if you haven't yet, watch some of those Sturgis videos and share the love. If you like my videos, hit me with that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and continue to join me on this adventure in life. Right now, I'm going to head in the house and see what I can stir up for dinner. I'm getting a little hungry. Till next time, cats, ride hard, die free.